What is up, everyone? Mars Jake8 here, bringing you guys the news in a flash. Let's get right into it. For all you Warped Tour lovers out there, and I know there's a lot of you, here's a chance to snag a piece of history of Warped Tour before it sadly comes to an end. There is a limited edition digital download of a live compilation of the final Warped Tour show called The Final Hours. That will include the last two songs from each of the participating bands' sets on their shows in Coral Sky Amphitheater in West Palm Beach, Florida, set on August 5th. Those bands will include In Heart's Wake, Unearthed, Capstan, We the Kings, The Main, Chelsea Grin, Every Time I Die, Less Than Jake, Simple Plan, Mayday Parade, Crown the Empire, My Children, My Bride, Water Parks, and many more. Now, the minimum payment for this is going to be $20, but here's where it gets awesome. All of these proceeds will then be donated to FEND, which is an organization that is set out to inform the youth about the opioid crisis. If you guys are interested in this, you guys can check down below for more details. Call of Duty World War II has announced their new Days of Summer event, which will bring a new map to the game that takes place in a sandbox, literally, and will be letting you play as tiny toy soldiers. I'm not making it up. It will also be bringing 3 new weapons as well. Say what you want about Call of Duty, but I absolutely love this game, and I love what they do with their events. It's probably one of my favorite things about this game. And moving on, we got the third trailer for Venom, and I gotta say, I am loving what I'm seeing from this. In this trailer, we definitely got to see a lot more of Venom, and we also got to see the interactions between him and Eddie a lot more, too. But I wasn't too thrilled about the fact that they changed up a couple of scenes from previous trailers, particularly the last scene from the previous trailer, where they finally revealed Venom, and he's all like, "I'm Venom." Well, they kind of added dialogue to it this time around, and I don't know, it just kind of took away from the awesomeness of that reveal. Anyways, though, I still am really excited to see this movie. If you guys are interested in checking out the trailer, the link, of course, will be down below for you. Shadow of the Tomb Raider has dropped not 1, but 2 new trailers showing off different components of the game and the world that's going to be taking place in. And I gotta say, I'm really excited for this game, too. You know, I love the new Tomb Raider series. I thought the first game was amazing. The second game was pretty good. It wasn't as good as the first game, but it was pretty good. And then this game just looks beautiful. If you guys want to check it out, link will be down below. Along with the announcement of their new album titled Anon, which is set to be released on October 12th, and the release of their first single titled Overthinking, which can be found below, Hands Like Houses has announced they are heading on a new US tour this November with support from Amorosa and Devour the Day. Check out the dates in the description. Silverstein has announced their 15th anniversary for their When Broken Is Easily Fixed album, with support from Hawthorne Heights, As Cities Burns, and Capstan. Check out the dates for that below. The Black Dahlia Murder has announced they are heading on a new winter tour with support from Ghost, Skeletal Remains, Power Trip, Pig Destroyer, Chemist, Ghoul, Havoc, Midnight, and Devourment. Now, some of these bands listed are just going to be regional support, so keep that in mind. And if you want to check out which bands are playing on which dates, that will be down below in the description for you guys to check out. 303 has announced they are teaming up with Emo Night to head out on a new tour this October through December with support from Lil Aaron. Check out the dates for that below. And I hope you guys are ready for things that suck, because we got a hell of a doozy today. Now, this one isn't particularly music news or game news, but I just felt like I should include it just based off of how stupid it is. Okay, so basically we have an online textbook for a class called the 21st Century Wellness at the University of North Carolina that implies that if the Holocaust victims had just had more self-worth, then they wouldn't have succumbed to being victims of the Holocaust. You see, if they had just gone Super Saiyan mode, or if they had just unleashed their tailed beast Sage mode, then they would have survived being gassed by the Nazis. This is the actual excerpt from the book. The people in the camps who did not tap into the strength that comes from their intrinsic worth succumbed to the brutality to which they were subjected. Let that sink in for a second, because, well, I honestly don't think I need to point out how incredibly stupid it is to suggest that the victims of one of the worst genocides of all time are to blame for that genocide. Like, that was so incredibly stupid when I first read that. I'm like, okay, there has to be some additional context here. No author in their right mind would just put this down on a piece of paper without some sort of context into what they're trying to say here. And there is. Okay, it's not great, but it's there. So one of the authors actually responded to CNN, who had posted this story about this controversy, and said it was never meant to say that the Holocaust survivors couldn't tap into their strength, but that those that didn't know their own worth had a harder time surviving the camps. Now, I don't know this author. I don't know what they've been through, but I'm pretty sure that he has never gone through the oppressive hells that were the Nazi concentration camps. And while what he is saying is at least technically true from a certain point of view, if you're looking at it from that point of view, it completely misses the fact that victims of the gas chambers and crematoriums were often selected at random or picked from the physically weaker prisoners. Okay, so it wasn't about a self-moral that was really the cause of this. It wasn't self-moral that kept people, that decided whether people lived or died. No, it was either random selection or it was you're too weak to live, so we're going to kill you. Also, it's pretty damn hard to find any sort of self-worth when your entire country betrays you in the cruelest possible way, and you have to watch as your wife, your children, your family, and even your friends just suddenly disappear, never to be seen again, with you constantly begging to God that they're somewhere out there still alive doing all right. You know, the way the author wrote this, and I get where he was trying to go with this, but the way that he wrote it just makes it sound incredibly numb towards the tragedy and suffering that the victims had to go through. Plus, you know, why is this even in a health and fitness textbook? Like, where does this fit into a health and fitness book? Out of all the places I would think to look for something like this is the last place that I would think to look. I don't know. It's just confusing, guys. If you guys want to check out the full story, I'll link it down below. But what do you guys think about it? Do you think it's as sane as I think it is? And if so, leave your comments down below and let me know. Thank you all for joining me for this episode. Leave a comment if you guys enjoyed it. Well, actually, leave a like if you enjoyed it. Leave a dislike if you didn't. Subscribe if you want more. And as always, I will see you all on the next one. Mars out.